next group is called Catchfly. They're also very new, or at least it seems all their stuff is new. They only have 3 videos, so this is gonna be kind of fast. 2 of which seem to be live, and only 1 is a music video. And we're gonna start with live, which is not how we usually do this. But I heard a little sample of Catchfly, and I was interested. So, let's go. I hope this is not a phone recording. On the audio, at least. I'll be very sad if it is. Chat. This really sounds like a phone recording for the audio. Tip for every band. If you're going to record a live event you're playing at, just like in the old days when we still had to use tape recorders, plug something in to the line out on the mixing board and record the audio from there. Because cell phone audio is crap. I'm sorry, it just is. It never sounds good. I mean, I only had to really hear like 10 seconds of this opening, and I'm already like, oh yeah, that is definitely cell phone audio. I wish it was better. I wish it was better. I'm very sensitive to it. Mostly because I've looked for good quality recordings of some stuff before that's live, and you can clearly tell the difference most of the time. I know some people actually bring like their own sound recording setup. They're not like, getting something out from the mixing board, but they're recording much higher quality than a phone, and that's still better. Yes, that is still better. I don't want to say this, but I don't think I can listen to cell phone quality. See, I can hear the distortion on this already. And to me, that just, it's kind of like fingernails on the chalkboard, because it just bothers me. It really bothers me. So, Catchfly, I am sorry. I will take a look at your music video. I would usually take a look at your lives, but you need to get someone who knows what they're doing recording the audio from your events. Yes. I'm sorry. All right. It's a minute and a half in. I got to start talking about this. All right. So, kind of like we already heard earlier, I don't like how low in the mix her voice is. I'm not sure if it's just a headphone thing. It could very well be a headphone thing. On another day, I would have, like a couple of weeks ago, I would have just taken off the headphones, or at least done like one ear, uh, and played it over my speakers for a little bit, turning off my mic to see if it's the same way over speakers. But yeah, her voice is really low in the mix. Her voice is super pretty, and I want to hear more of it. That's why I'm telling you it needs to be further up in the mix. At least with headphones, I just cannot hear it as well as I want. I think that's my entire commentary so far. Let's keep going. All right. Since they're doing an instrumental section, I'm going to talk about the instrumentation. I love the beats in this, definitely. And when I say that, I mean both the drummer and the bass player doing work. It's great. I love this beat. And I am pretty sure they're a heavy metal band. That's what this sounds like. So I definitely like that it's a heavy beat. And the guitar does some good accent work in here. It's not really doing the melody because what she's singing and what the guitarists are doing are vastly different things, which makes sense for a heavy metal song with like what I want to call like epic vocals. Ones that are very like classically inspired. I think that's probably the best way to put it. Let's keep going. Okay, I have to comment about that. I mean, how could I not? She gave us a growl, but it's a very, I want to call it a thin and airy growl. I don't have a better term for it. That doesn't make it bad. It's a very distinct growl because I don't know anyone else that really growls quite that way. At least modern. Some of the old, like, heavy metal bands used to do growling that's kind of like that. So it feels kind of old school to me because of that. Um, it wasn't the guar, I can't understand anything they're actually saying sort of growling, but it was what I like to call, like, accent growling. Um, it's still very hard to hear because, again, she's kind of low in the mix. The instrumentation actually sort of drowns out her growl, which makes it very hard to hear exactly what she's growling. But, uh, yeah, the point of that type of growling wasn't necessarily to, like, speak words, even in a lot of cases. They just growled at, like, the right pitch. Which is crazy when I say it that way, but that is actually what they did. There were no words that they were really saying. Um, and that's part of why she really reminds me of that. Because I can't understand what she's saying. She could literally just be pitching a growl and it would be the same to me. It would definitely be the same to me. Um but yeah, I think that's most of what I have to say about her growl. Before the growl, I was gonna say that the closest band for like inspiration that I could probably find to them is something like Evanescence. But Evanescence doesn't really do growls. So I can't really like say that that's like an inspiration exactly. They're in a really weird place, I think. They're sort of mixing things together, and I like it, but I think they need to adjust it a little bit. Mostly just so I can hear her actual singing and her growling. I think that would go a long way for me liking their mix here. And I don't just mean the audio mix when I say that. I mean in the song between genres. Because her light, airy voice really needs to be placed higher up. And I think I'm sticking by that. I know I've had comments that things like shoegaze exist. I don't care. I want to hear them if they're singing. I want to be able to hear the lyrics if they're singing. If you don't care about lyrics, then we don't need words. You can just sing at pitches without any real vocalization. And then I won't complain because there aren't words. I don't need to hear it. It's just there for effect. Anyways, rant over. You knew it was going to happen. You knew it was going to happen. Anyways, back to All right. So, final thoughts. I like this song. I still wish they'd fix her vocals so I can hear it better. But, yeah, I still like it. I still like it. And I think that's all I have to say about Catchfly. The only other things we have from them are some shorts. I'm just curious if there's musical shorts in here. Wow. They talk about being a mix of Flyleaf and Evanescence. And as someone who likes both those bands, yes, please. I'm curious. What are... Is there no audio? Oh. Okay, that's kind of entertaining. Ironically, I can hear her better there than I could in this song. That is just so sad to me. By the way, this is how you should mix the audio for all of your stuff. This way. Because I was perfectly able to hear her on that. Yes, yes. I have nothing further to say about that. I think you've heard the rant by now. Anyways, let's move on.